Why do we feel lazy even when we want to change? Have you ever told yourself, I'll do it tomorrow? Or maybe, I want to do it, I just don't feel like it right now. We all do it. But why? In this episode, I want to talk to you like a friend, a coach, and someone who understands what it feels like to be stuck, to want something so badly but not take action. You're not lazy because you're weak. You're not lazy because you're bad at English or because you don't care. You're lazy because your brain is trying to protect you. It's afraid of discomfort. But today, we're going to change that. Not with pressure, not with shame, but with clarity, mindset, and small, powerful shifts. By the end of this episode, you'll understand your own behavior in a deeper way. And trust me, after listening, laziness won't feel like an excuse anymore. It'll feel like something you can overcome. What will you get if you listen to this episode until the end? If you stay with me until the end, you will not only improve your English listening and vocabulary, you'll also walk away with something more powerful, a mindset shift. We're going to explore motivation, discipline, how the brain works, and what to do when you feel tired, lost, or like giving up. You'll learn how to move even when you feel lazy, how to show up for yourself even when no one's watching, and how to speak to yourself in a way that creates energy, not pressure. This episode is not just about learning English. It's about learning how to take control of your time, your energy, and your future. So sit back, take a deep breath, and let's begin this journey together. What is laziness really? Laziness is not what most people think it is. It's not just being sleepy or unmotivated. It's not just lying on the couch watching TV all day. Laziness is a signal. It's your mind trying to protect you from stress, discomfort, failure, or even success. Sometimes we call ourselves lazy, when really, we're scared, we're confused, we don't know where to start, we feel overwhelmed, and when the brain feels overwhelmed, it shuts down. It tells you, let's do nothing. That's easier. But here's the good news. Once you understand your laziness, you can work with it, not against it. Why do we avoid the things we care about? Isn't it strange how we often avoid the things that matter the most? You care about your future. You care about your goals. You want to speak better English, right? So why do you delay it? It's because the brain doesn't care about your goals. It cares about safety, right now. That's why watching a YouTube video or checking your phone is easier than studying. It gives you instant reward. Your goals don't. But that doesn't mean you can't change. It just means you have to be smarter than your instincts. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Can small steps beat laziness? Yes. In fact, small steps are the only thing that can truly beat laziness. You don't need a big plan. You don't need to feel excited. You don't need to wait for motivation. You just need to move a little. One tiny thing. Open your book. Write one word. Play one podcast. Say one sentence. And here's the magic. When you do something small, your brain starts to relax. It says, oh, this isn't scary. I can do more. Laziness disappears not when you fight it, but when you start small and keep going. Why motivation doesn't work? Motivation feels amazing. It's that rush of energy, the fire inside. But here's the truth. Motivation doesn't last. It's like sugar. It gives you a quick boost and then crash. So if you wait for motivation to begin, you'll wait forever. What works better? Discipline, routine, identity. You do the thing not because you feel like it, but because you decided, this is who I am. You're not just someone learning English, you're an English speaker. You're building your future, also one word at a time, and that identity is stronger than motivation. What is identity-based action? Let me ask you something. What kind of person do you want to be? Because when your actions come from your identity, you don't need to argue with yourself anymore. Think about it like this. If you believe you're a lazy person, you'll act lazy. But if you believe you're someone who shows up, who takes action, who finishes things, you'll act that way too. Identity-based action means choosing your actions based on who you want to be, not what you feel in the moment. And the more you do that, the more you become it. How does environment shape our laziness? Your environment is more powerful than your willpower. Let me say that again. Your environment shapes your behavior. If your phone is next to your bed, if your desk is full of distractions, if your friends never talk about growth or learning, you will feel lazy even if you're not. So change your environment. Put your books where you can see them. Keep your space clean. Surround yourself with people who push you to grow. Make your environment work for you, not against you. What's the difference between rest and laziness? Sometimes we confuse rest with laziness, but they are very different. Rest is intentional. Laziness is avoidance. Rest says, I've worked hard. I deserve to relax. Laziness says, I don't feel like doing it, so I'll avoid it. You need rest. You deserve to recharge. But rest should make you feel better after. Stronger, calmer, ready. Laziness makes you feel worse. So learn to ask yourself, am I resting or am I avoiding? Why starting is the hardest part. Here's something strange. The hardest part of doing anything is starting, not finishing, not continuing, just starting. Because once you start, your brain stops fighting you. You gain momentum. But before you start, your mind imagines all the difficulty, all the discomfort, and that fear keeps you frozen. So what's the trick? Start bad. Start small. Start ugly. Just start. Because once you begin, you're already stronger than your excuses. How does perfectionism create laziness? You might not think of yourself as a perfectionist, but if you ever say things like, if I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all. That's perfectionism, and it's one of the biggest reasons people feel lazy. Because the pressure to be perfect is heavy. It makes the task feel huge, serious, impossible. So instead of doing it badly, you do nothing. But here's the truth. You must be willing to do it badly, to make mistakes, to be messy. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. Perfectionism is not your friend. It's just fear, wearing a nice outfit. Why do lazy moments feel so powerful? Have you noticed how powerful the voice of laziness can be? It says things like, just 5 more minutes. You deserve to rest. Start later. It's not a big deal. And it feels so reasonable in the moment, like a kind friend. But later, you regret it. You feel frustrated with yourself. That lazy voice. It doesn't care about your future. It only cares about comfort right now. You don't need to hate that voice. Just recognize it. And speak louder. Talk back to it with your truth. I care about my future. I don't need to feel like it. I just need to begin. How does consistency break the laziness cycle? The secret to getting out of the lazy loop isn't doing more. It's doing less. but more often. Consistency isn't about being perfect every day. It's about showing up, no matter how small, one page, one exercise, one sentence. That's it. When you do something every day, even just a little, your brain stops resisting. It becomes a habit. And habits are stronger than moods. You won't always feel like it. But if you keep the promise to yourself, day by day, you'll stop feeling lazy. You'll start feeling proud. What happens when you delay too much? Delaying can feel harmless. I'll do it later, tomorrow, next week. But the cost of delay is heavy, because every time you delay, you send yourself a message. I can't trust myself to follow through. That message becomes part of your identity. And the more you delay, the more anxiety you feel, not just about the task, but about yourself. You begin to think you're lazy, unreliable, not good enough. But the problem wasn't you, it was the habit of delay. So break the habit. Take action now, even a tiny one. It tells your brain, I can begin, I can finish, I can trust me. How can we create energy instead of waiting for it? Most people wait for energy. They wait until they feel ready, but that's backwards. You don't need to have energy to move. You need to move to have energy. Try it right now. Stand up, stretch your arms, take a deep breath, speak out loud, walk around the room. Suddenly, you feel different. Because movement creates momentum. You don't need to wait to feel inspired. You just need to get into motion. Energy is not something you wait for. It's something you generate. Why is doing the hard thing worth it? Easy things feel good now, but they don't change your life. Hard things feel uncomfortable now, but they build your life. When you avoid the hard thing, studying, practicing, pushing yourself, you stay exactly where you are. But when you do the hard thing, even when it's awkward or difficult, something changes inside you. You grow. You gain confidence. You respect yourself more. The more hard things you do, the easier they become, and the more powerful you become. So next time you feel lazy, ask yourself, what would the strong version of me do right now? Then go do that. How do you train your brain to stop being lazy? Training your brain is just like training your body. You don't go to the gym once and become strong. You go again and again and again. The brain works the same. Each time you do something, instead of avoiding it, even something small, you build a new mental muscle. So start simple. Decide on a time. Commit to one small action. Repeat it, no matter how you feel. Over time, your brain starts to expect effort instead of avoidance. And laziness? It becomes quieter because you've trained your brain to show up. What if I fail or miss a day? You will. That's the truth. There will be days when you don't show up, when you forget, when you choose comfort. That's okay. Missing one day doesn't ruin the process, but quitting does. So if you fall off, get back on. If you miss a session, restart the next day. Failure isn't the end. It's just feedback. It teaches you something. Be kind to yourself, but also honest. You can rest, you can recover, but you cannot give up. What kind of life do you want to build? Let's go deeper for a moment. Forget English. Forget school or work. Ask yourself, what kind of life do I want? Do you want a life where you feel proud of your choices? Where you keep promises to yourself? Where you can speak clearly, think clearly, and act with purpose? then you have to build it, one small action at a time. Laziness is not part of that future. Courage is. Discipline is. Joy is. The life you want is already waiting for you. All you have to do is stop waiting. Final message. You're not lazy. You're ready. So here's the truth I want to leave you with. You are not lazy. You are just out of practice, out of energy, out of structure. But deep inside you is someone who is strong, focused, and ready to change. You don't need to become a new person. You just need to return to who you really are. So the next time you feel lazy, remember this episode. Play it again if you need to. Take one small step. Start now, not tomorrow. And trust me, you'll never be lazy the same way again.